most lethal thing you can. Got it? Now think of the most simple and useful tool you can. You got that? Now I bet you had something like a nuclear bomb or a gun for the first one, right? And you had something like a screwdriver or a wrench for the second one. Well, in both cases you could be right, but over the course of history, that hasn't been the case. In reality, the most lethal weapon, the weapon that's killed the most people in the world, is the humble bow. Most people wouldn't think that, but it's true. The most simple and useful tool would have to be the axe. Could you split logs without it? No. And finally, the simple but deadly spear. All it takes is to cut bits of wood off a stick and you have a spear. So without further ado, I'm going to talk about the humble bow. What kind of weapon could cause an army of 15,000 to have a crushing defeat against an army of only 8,100 people? No, not a machine gun, but well-placed archers did the deed, according to Henry V's Year of Glory. The battle I'm talking about is the Battle of Agincourt, where 8,100 English soldiers defeated 15,000 French knights in their armor and with their horses. The longbow could punch through the steel of the French armor, which is incredibly thick, and nothing could pierce it. They tried regular bows and they couldn't pull it off. And they punched through it and they routed them. 12,000 French knights lost their lives to the English longbow because of the power and killing potential of it. And the thing is, it's not only a killing tool. You can use it to hunt for your family and provide food for them. And the thing is, to this day, the French people, if you mention Agincourt, will be angry. I've personally done this, and it proves how great that weapon system was. And researcher Miriam Hadel said the bow and arrow have long been regarded as the possible indicator of culture in prehistoric times. Bows and arrows appear to have been used for 64,000 years, given evidence from South Africa, according to ScienceDaily.com. 64,000 years, and people are still using it. To put it in colloquial terms, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. Now I'm going to move on to the next workhorse weapon of the medieval era, the axe. A weapon can go from splitting logs to splitting heads and seamlessly. Not a great sword, not a warhammer, but an axe? Yeah, that'll do it. Every person who's ever split logs knows how difficult it is. Now imagine doing so without an axe. Nearly impossible. Now, some see an axe as a cumbersome and slow weapon, but that doesn't need to be the case. You have the great axe, huge and cumbersome, but you also have the hand axe, light and deadly. In the war, the Revolutionary War, native troops would use hand axes, and the people fighting them couldn't fight back because of how quickly they were moving. And they weren't using swords or spears, they were using little hand axes. Most people think, oh, it's an axe, it's so slow. That's not the case. And finally, one of the most simple and lethal weapons is the spear. Yes, it's a stick that's been cut off, and you can stab things with it. But most people think of it as just this pointy stick. Well, yes it is, but it doesn't stop it from being vicious and lethal. The Greeks ruled the civilized world with the bow and the spear, and after them, the Romans did the exact same thing. So what were the Romans' go-to weapons? The sword and the spear. All their formations took advantage of the reach and lethality of this weapon. And all it takes to turn a farmer into a soldier is to cut a stick and hand it to him. And the spear has so much utility. Yes, it's a reach weapon. You can get someone who's standing over there, but you can also throw it. And once you throw it, you go back and get it. An arrow will break when it's shot, generally. But with a spear, you can go back and get it, and you have your weapon back. And in conclusion, a weapon is really only as useful as the training that accompanies it. And the training with the spear is so simple, while a sword could take months to become usable in combat. It's a tool. It's not an instrument of death. People make things deadly. The bow, the axe, and the spear, all tools and all deadly in their own ways. A bow can hunt for food or kill someone who wishes you ill, while an axe can cut down trees and split logs, or it can split skulls. A spear can be used to prod cattle back into position, or it can conquer a continent. All these weapons are tools, and they can all be deadly. But the idiom we use now, guns don't kill people, people kill people, works for back then as well. They weren't some tools of death. They were simply tools that aimed to be used to help other people.